Draymond clip was so funny. Just a
That was
wrestling move.
arguably the funniest Draymond clip I've ever seen.
That's an all-timer. That's top 5 for sure.
He's just grabbing everybody. That's like my dream. That's what I wanted to do in fucking like PE class. Like if people were just pissing me off, just get in between them, bring them down.
We might have a cold open this show. That was good. What is up, basketball fans? Welcome back to Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast, brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go check them out today if you're in the Houston area. Shout out to our daily fantasy app, Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up. You get up to $100 match on your first deposit. We love Prize Picks. You should too. And shout out to J Bar M Barbecue, our newest sponsor on the show. They're a delightful barbecue spot just a few blocks away from Toyota Center, and they've got cheap drinks and great food over at J Bar M Barbecue. Check them out before you head to a Rockets game. They're delightful. Great people and great barbecue over at J Bar M Barbecue. Josh, welcome back. Christmas break is over. I am back from the dead. I fell down with a sickness a couple days before Christmas, and I couldn't talk. I couldn't sneeze. I couldn't move. I had a fever. I don't know what was happening to me. I almost died. Felt like it, at least. Slept a bunch. And now I'm back. So, Josh, I hope you had a better Christmas than I did. But
yeah, well, welcome back, buddy. Welcome back. Happy Merry belated. I've been thinking about Amen Thompson the past couple days, and I wish that I could have gotten 10 Amen Thompson stocks for Christmas. But we had to settle with I think 6 or 7 last night. I'm feeling solid, man. I'm really in a way pissed off like I normally am, but you know it's Christmas. We'll be all right. Just glad we got to watch some real ball, not that fake football that they're trying to gentrify our sport with.
Yeah. So I've been in 4 states in 6 days now. Been all over the place. I was in Miami. I watched said football in Miami. Had a good time. Tried to just not cheer and not get mad the entire game because the season is over. I am done with them. And then I ultimately ended up cheering towards the end. They got an interception, a touchdown. It became fun at one point. It maybe enough drinks were in me. Whatever. Watch the pigskin. Watch the old egg ball, as they say, and had a great time. And then got back to Georgia. Christmas Day. Had a delightful time watching the round ball, basketball, the best sport that we've watched our entire lives. And I had just a great time and realized that I didn't watch any football. I watched the Beyonce halftime show during the second game for the Houston Texans and Kansas City Chiefs, or Baltimore Ravens, but I didn't watch the egg ball. I watched the round ball. My dad was watching egg ball. I was watching round ball. It was great. Had a good time. Ratings. We talked about it last episode. Why were the NBA ratings down? We went through a whole bunch of scenarios. There's a whole culmination of just different things that have associated this with being hard to watch basketball now. Christmas Day, obviously, Netflix got the NFL games. There's 2 NFL games, 1 o'clock and like 4:30 Eastern time, I believe. And both games stunk. Just stinkers. But 24 million people tuned into the first game, I believe, and 27 million tuned into the second game, I believe. That's a lot of people. So more people than I thought had Netflix available and ready on televisions because it's hard to share passwords now. You have to be in a location. You have to be on a certain Wi-Fi. It's a little tougher. So I didn't think that many people would tune in on Christmas Day. Nonetheless, like Christmas is a hard holiday because every family's different. We do Christmas presents in the morning. Well, we do breakfast and then we do presents and then kind of take a nap and then we do steaks for like a late lunch. So it's like you don't really get a whole lot of time to just sit down and watch the TV and watch sports. So every Christmas present, like some people wake up at 6 a.m. and do presents. We're not doing that anymore. We're not children. Yeah, we're just waking up whenever. So ratings were around like 3 to 8 million per game. I mean, there's 5 NBA games on Christmas Day. So like you combine all of that, you get pretty close to one of the NFL games. But I wonder how many of those 24 and 27 million were overlapping. Were they just the exact same viewers and you got an extra 3 for the Beyonce concert? Is that what it is?
That's definitely what the case was. There's nothing you can really pinpoint that the NBA or the NFL is doing differently than one another. All I can really tell you is the NFL has a terrible product and it's getting more and more popular, which is the most confusing thing to me ever. I cannot say consistently that I've felt something watching an NFL game really since, and we said this last episode, since like 2016, 2017. And again, we talked about like the childlike wonder kind of leaving your body. You're talking about, the sports fandom, not necessarily leaving your body, but you view sports differently as you get older. At least I'd
Mhm.
imagine. That's how I feel, at least.
Yeah.
But with basketball, it's weird because you're seeing like some of the best games on Christmas, and we can even look at the early slate like Spurs Knicks. Mikal Bridges was knocking down mid rangers, fucking
Whatever you wanted.
J style. Like all the old heads could have watched that and been like, "Damn, this is the game that I love. It's coming back.
That's a real basketball player right there.
That real basketball shit." And there was hardly any stoppage between the last like 4 minutes of
Mhm.
the game. It was a perfectly fluid end to a basketball game. And then the Knicks get like 3 or 4 offensive boards and the ball gets tipped up everywhere. And it ends up just being this grit and grind ass ending. And it's like, people should love this, but hardly anybody's talking. I mean, in basketball circles, people were talking about it because it was a crazy ending. Wemby scored 40. He was the first player to first insert ESPN stat here, 45 points on a Monday or whatever.
Yeah.
And Mikal Bridges scoring 41 points or 40 points on just a bunch of mid-rangers and a bunch of bullshit. It was sick to watch. Like, you're seeing guys who, you don't necessarily expect to go off. And, there's always nice Christmas stories, nice stories in general, on days like this. And I don't know, this just added to the allure of how good of a basketball day it was. And I feel bad that not many eyes got to, witness it. It was my present. It sure felt like that for me.
Do you think Christmas Day ratings are down because we don't have Christmas Day jerseys anymore? We just have a patch.
Yes. That's one of the
Adidas had it.
reasons.
Adidas did like one thing right. The sleeve
Mhm.
jerseys, no. The Christmas Day jerseys, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Where everyone kind of had the same theme, but those were just the days. Just the Christmas Day jerseys, you get excited, and it has the snowflake on the back, little patch as well. But it's a different jersey. It's a different look. Sometimes they had different courts on there as well. It's just like I miss that. The patch isn't enough for me. You make it more special, make it better. Um, bring the Adidas Christmas Day jerseys back, but you can make them Nike. It's fine. I don't care. You have the contract, so let's just bring those back. But like you said, ratings were a little bit down, but I think it's tough because there's 5 games. It's like, which game are you really going to want to watch? Most people, I think, tuned into the Lakers Warriors game because that's Steph Curry and LeBron James. We'll get to them in a minute. But when you're on the East Coast time, it's like it starts at noon, and then the last game started at like 10 p.m.
10:30. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't stay up for that game. It was 10:30. I was asleep. Sound asleep, actually.
League Pass Demon like me would never
Slept like
worry.
a baby. Yeah, I went to bed right after the Lakers Warriors. So it's like, that's enough for me. I'm good. I'm going to end it on that note because it was delightful. But game 1, Spurs, Knicks, just Wemby doing Wemby things. He's on the national stage for the first time on like a Christmas Day. Christmas Day games are special. It's an honor to be in those games because the NBA has just held Christmas forever. And LeBron said it best. It's like, I love the NFL, but NBA is Christmas. Like, Christmas is the NBA games. That is what it is, and it's always kind of been that way. So Wemby getting to have his first chance on Christmas was cool, and especially it being in the Garden. It's not a rivalry in any way, shape, or form, Spurs or Knicks. I wish we would just stick to rivalries on Christmas. Like, the ones that are really recent are actually in Lakers, Celtics should always just play on Christmas. We said that last episode, I think. So, but incredible game. Wemby just goes off. Mikal Bridges is just matching Wemby, which is just funny that it's Mikal Bridges, where the first game of the season against the Celtics, Knicks fans were calling first head. Everyone in the NBA is like, they traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. And then all of a sudden, he shoots the ball 2 more times than Jalen Brunson, but doubled his points and then some. So, yeah, it was just an all-around great game. It was kind of fluid. Like, it went well. There wasn't just stoppages at every turn, and there wasn't replays at every turn. It was just good quality basketball played in the first game. It's a great start to Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's all that matters, dude. You need these games to, get yourself over that hump. And we've been talking like I feel like a lot of the ratings talk is very ill intended. There's a lot of nobody really knows what the fuck they're talking about. Hell, we don't even know what we're talking about a lot of the times. But people are talking about strictly the 3-pointer situation. They're talking like, if you really want to get down to it, there is a problem with stoppages. Stoppages happen way too much. We were watching the end of I think it was Wizards Hornets last night. Real sicko shit at the crib, of course. And that the last about 30-45 seconds of that game probably took about 12 real life minutes. Sure, there was 4 timeouts. Sure, there was 3+ fouls. Like, we get it. I don't know how the NBA is going to fix that. That is a serious problem that needs to be addressed. But nobody's really talking about that in regards to like ratings talk. Which they're just like, oh, the play style is changing, 3-pointer. No. That's ill intended. There's stupid parameters behind that argument. Obviously, players are going to get better. They're going to be able to shoot more threes. You are mad because the game and the players are getting better consistently, which is stupid. I think that's silly. And again, we can sit here all day, but I really think that that's one of the big issues, of course, with stoppages. But if you don't like this NBA, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Like truly, like if you don't like what's going on around you, if you don't like players consistently getting better, the even like league pass shit where you're watching like the fan interactions, like that stuff's cool too. Like the arenas are doing better entertainment, like they are doing better to bring out a better product. If you don't like it right now, you just might not be the same basketball fan that you once were when you were a kid. And I don't mean to, point the finger at anybody because I'm speaking into the void here, but I think it's really important to direct your anger in a maybe direct your confusion in like a more positive way. You know what I mean? Don't blame it all on one thing that's really honestly bettering the league. You know what I mean? Like threes are cool, and when teams make a lot of threes, we talked about the Mavs Warriors game the other day, like teams were scoring at will. Guys were scoring like crazy. Like I love games like that. Do you really want to see like 75 to 73 barn burners? Like sure, throw a little game winner in there at the end. I'd absolutely watch the shit out of that because defensive battles are fun at times. But it's like watching 1-0 shutouts in the MLB. It's like got to be a real sicko to enjoy 2 hours and 30 minutes of this, you know?
And I do think the people that are complaining about the NBA just being a worse product right now are the people that started watching basketball in the 80s. And if I will remind everyone, in the 80s, I think the average score per team was 115 points per game. That is where we're hovering now. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 118. I don't know what it is exactly, or maybe 112. Like we're in the same range as we were when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Kevin McHale were all just running around the NBA. And it's like, and Michael Jordan was a rookie, and Hakeem Olajuwon shows up. Like it's the same game. It's just happening in a different way. And they're shooting more threes and they're getting more dunks. It's not post game. It's not a slow. But everyone was playing fast back then, and that's when everyone, I think, that is complaining about the NBA started watching basketball and became fans of the game and became fans of players and teams. And we're getting the same product now. It just looks different, and the game evolves. The game becomes different. Like in football, you just ran the ball all the time. Dan Marino shows up and throws for 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns, and everyone's like, that's sorcery. That's witchcraft. We don't do that. Obviously, you never won a Super Bowl. And then 2000s, you get like Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson, you get the running back era, AP. And then all of a sudden, late 2010s, it's like, oh, Tom Brady just threw for 5,000 yards and he's 40 years old. Oh, Matt Ryan just won MVP because he threw for 40-plus touchdowns. Drew Brees, and then Mahomes shows up and Lamar Jackson. It's a quarterback league where if you don't throw for 4,000, 4,500 plus with 40 touchdowns, you're not winning MVP, and you're probably not going to win a lot of games either. Like the game changes, the game evolves based on who comes into the NBA. And Wemby, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, all these guys are good for the NBA.
Yeah,
people just don't,
and that's just the early game,
whatever reason.
Yeah,
that's just the first game.
That's just the early game, dude. That's the crazy part. Is and I had to sit here and watch a 6-3. I don't even want to call it a barn burner. I felt like nobody was on the field.
Hand up. I had no idea there was a football game on last night. Not a clue. I went to bed and everyone's like, the Seattle Seahawks and the Chicago Bears just did the exact same thing that the Seattle Mariners and White Sox did this summer, 6-3. And I was like, there was a football game on last night? I just didn't even know.
No, I'm so glad that you didn't have to bear witness, because at some point, usually, my friend and I, we have this setup where we have a League Pass TV on the bottom left. I've sent you our autism setup, as like what we like to call it. And we have the big TV with the big football game on, or you know, we'll usually do a standalone game. We had to mute the big TV and throw League Pass. We were watching Hornets Wizards with volume for a solid 25 minutes. And shout out Eric Collins, Yabba Dabba Doo, LaMelo Ball.
Great game caller.
Great game caller. There was a Jordan Poole snatchback game winner. He goes, oh my God! It was insane. I love this shit. This is why I love this league, dude. And you know, accessibility is important. Like we talked about, I think that, more and more national TV games becoming prevalent. Like, you need just good teams and make everything flexible. Like, flex games out. If the Sacramento Kings and the Pistons are playing on an NBA TV game, first of all, make NBA TV accessible to everyone. Jesus
Yeah.
fucking Christ. I have a normal cable package, and thank God I'm under the age of 30 and I have cable, but like, Jesus Christ, I cannot watch NBA TV on my television. It's stupid. Something's got to give with national TV. I'm really pissed. That's a whole other thing, but I'm really pissed off about that.
Yeah, if you get a sports package, I should have NHL Network, MLB Network, and NFL Network, and NBA TV. I should just have those four as a part of a sports package. If I pay extra for it, I should just have those. So first game started off tremendous. Second game, Timberwolves Mavericks in Dallas, stunk for a hot minute. The Mavericks could not make a shot. I think they shot 31 or 32% from the field at halftime. They had 40 points.
Ugh.
They were down 17. It's like 57-40 at halftime. Luka goes out with an injury with like 2.5 minutes left in the half. Not ideal, but they came back. It was a 28-point deficit at one point in the third quarter. Kyrie Irving and company start bringing it back. Clay hit that big three, and AAC started jumping. I was like, all right, I mean, at least they're fighting, no Luka. They're still fighting. They came all the way back. It was a 2-point game. They're with like a minute left, and just didn't work. Wasn't good defense on Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards was looking to have a big game on Christmas Day against the team that embarrassed him in the playoffs last season in the Western Conference Finals. So it was a get-back game for him, and the Mavericks just obviously no Luka for an entire half and then some, and couldn't make a shot in the first half. It was tough game, 105-99. Timberwolves take home the W. They get the win back. Julius Randle also returning home to Dallas. That was a recipe for disaster. And just before the game even started, like, you knew Julius Randle was just going to have a good game, and they were going to look good for no reason at all. So
this is what we do it for. This is awesome. Julius Randle being that guy who can, at times, arguably 2/3 of the time, look like the most hilarious basketball player ever. But then that other 1/3 of the time, you're like, oh, this guy can be an elite forward for the foreseeable future. I'm glad he had his moment, his homecoming moment, if you will. Anthony Edwards' dagger layup. You said it was terrible defense, but maybe it was just better offense, buddy.
it just wasn't. It wasn't great defense. Like, it was fine defense. It just wasn't good, especially against Ant.
And that's what it is, man. I honestly, hand up, I was napping. I did eat. I ate a lot of ham and mac and cheese, of course. But I come back, and the first thing I see on my television is Anthony Edwards just driving, scoring at will. I know Kyrie went crazy, and it felt good to at least get that back, because Kyrie, like, he still it's so weird because he's been in the league for 13 years. He still has so much time. Like, it feels like he can play until he's like 42, God willing, barring injury, staying healthy. And him being on that Mavs team, especially with no Luka, essentially leading the team, being the primary ball handler again, it's going to be fun. I'm kind of excited to league past that because I can't fucking watch Mavs games when I'm on my cable package, because thank you, FanDuel or Bally or whatever. It's stupid. It's all about accessibility. In the NBA, shit pisses me off, dude. Like, make games accessible again, please.
Shout out to the Dallas Stars for creating Victory Plus and making it free. They've tripled their viewership this season just because it's
Who would have thought?
It's
Who would have thought?
In all of Texas and parts of Louisiana and Oklahoma, you can watch the Dallas Stars for free if you just sign up to Victory Plus and just create an account. That's all it is. That's all it takes. So yeah, Luka, he calf strain late in the second half. He had a heel contusion against the Golden State Warriors the other week on that Sunday night after the NBA Cup, and he played the whole game through that. Missed 2 games, came back, played 2 games for no reason, leading into Christmas Day, and then he comes in and gets hurt again. When you look at it, Luka Doncic has been playing basketball his entire life, much like all these other players. But when you look at it for real, like, he goes to the finals like every year with Real Madrid from a 14 or 13-year-old or whatever until he's 18 or 19, and he shows up in the NBA, gets like 1 year, 2 years where he doesn't make the playoffs, and all of a sudden bubble happens, he's in the playoffs, and he's in the playoffs pretty much every year except for one. He had a Western Conference Finals in there in 22. And then he's playing FIBA basketball. He's trying to qualify for the Olympics. Like, he just hasn't had a break, and his body just hasn't been able to recover. And everyone's talking about conditioning. He's completely conditioned to play basketball. That's all he has been doing for the last 6-7 years. Like, is only playing basketball and training and to play basketball. Like, that's all he does. He hasn't had a break. so his body hasn't been able to recover. And it finally got him calf strain. He's going to be reevaluated in a month, which sucks because January is a big month, 17 games, and only 8 of them, I think, are against teams below 500 right now. So it's a tough schedule and a lot of games in the month of January. But the Mavericks play really fast and fluid without Luka on the court because they're not having to, like, it's kind of like when LeBron leaves the court, like, oh, we get to do kind of whatever we want to now. Kyrie pushes the pace, and obviously you got younger guys like Derek Lively and PJ Washington in there that like to push the pace. I think it's going to free Klay Thompson up a little bit more because he's been the corner guy, just like kind of sit in the corner, set a screen, sit in the corner. I'm curious to see what happens with Klay Thompson. I think he's been looking a lot better over the last few weeks after he came back from injury, but not ideal to not have Luka for at least a month, if not more. But it feels like 2011. Let me tell you why. Looking like they're having a really good run. They're a 4 seed in a tough West. They were 19-10 before the Christmas Day game, 19-11 now. Looking really good for prime to make another special run. Looking like they're gelling. This is the second year with all these guys, and they added Klay Thompson as the next piece, and it's looking really good. And all of a sudden, your superstar gets hurt in December. You know what happened in 2011 in December, 2010 in December, heading into the year of 2011? Dirk Nowitzki gets hurt for an extended period of time, looking like a special run. He comes back all of a sudden. Goes on the greatest playoff run of all time. They win the finals. Just saying. Feels like 2011.
Anything can happen, boys. When you have 3 out of your 5 teams in your division in 3 out of the 4 top slots in the Western Conference, sure feels pretty good to be a Southwest Division fan.
Yep.
I don't think anyone's ever said that in the history of
not once
of the NBA, but damn it, I enjoy it. And I can't wait for these games to matter even more. Like, the hatred is going to run through me. Can't wait to pull up to the AAC, pissed off, watching Dylan Brooks just give Luka Doncic the work, because know that'll happen.
That'll happen for sure.
Can't wait. But I'm really excited to see Klay Thompson start running suicides again in practice. Because, man, buddy, you're gonna have to start running around that perimeter, buddy. Let's get it going.
Oh, I can't wait for the Derek Lively screen to Klay Thompson for a wide open 3, and then he passes it up, and Derek Lively's just wide open for an alley-oop. Oh, they did it in preseason. It's going to happen again. I can't wait.
You have talked about that play 5 times. Let's be clear. You've talked about that play 5 times.
I'm just waiting for it to actually happen again because it looks so good in preseason. I was like, why are we not doing that?
You sent me the clip, and you were like geeked out about it, and I was like, this is cool, man. Good for you. You deserve it. And you're just sitting there like, holy shit, the offense is opened up.
I was like, please just make it happen again, please. I need it. Third game, 76ers Celtics in Boston. Joel Embiid takes a fadeaway turnaround 3 for no reason in warmups and just trips and falls and rolls his ankle. And I'm just like, this is karma, buddy. This is karma for you bowing up to a lady ref for no reason. She called a foul, which was clearly a foul. You can argue it all day long, but do not bow up on her. Do not come within 6 inches of her when you're 7 feet tall and she's maybe 4'11". Like, she looked incredibly small. She's probably taller than that, but he's such a large person. He got within 6 inches of her and started yelling at her, tease her up, or she teased him up, and then is trying to get out of the situation because he's so unbelievably angry. And we've seen Jokic and Luka and a number of other players just yell at refs like Jackie Moon and Semi-Pro. Like, I don't know what they're saying, but if you've seen the movie, it could be similar to that. I don't know. They're seeing it in Slovenian or Serbian or whatever. Like, they're saying probably awful things to these refs, but they're doing it at a distance. They're not charging at them. They're holding their hands up like, why'd you call that? Joel Embiid just was like, stuck his chest out and wanted a bumper. So that's karma to start that game.
Gross behavior. Joel Embiid essentially being 7'1" pretty much in shoes, and this ref who just like how, and I know we shit on the refs all the time, but this ref who's worked their fucking way up, busted their ass. Like, I know that we shit on the refs all the time, but like, you can't be doing that shit. Especially like, you look like as soon as she walked out, she was like,
yeah, hands up, like trying to get out of the situation.
She's like, what am I dealing with right now? So she immediately ejects him, and thank God, because at some point this needs to be stopped. And the fact that I know that we're gonna have to see these Sixers like crawl into the playoffs, whether it be a play-in or a 6 seed somehow, because anything can happen in the East at this point. like I'm my disdain for Joel Embiid has evolved and has morphed into almost anger, and I don't feel this way about a lot of people, and I'm sure Sixers fans can look at this and be like, oh, that's exactly what the fuck I want you to feel like, da da da. And like, no, this is what Joel Embiid is doing is not normal for an NBA player, and I don't mean like scoring wise, I mean like attitude wise, anger wise, like injury wise too. Like, fucking, this is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it in my life. The only thing I can compare it to is like Latrell Sprewell's like constant outbursts. Like, obviously, I don't think Joel Embiid would necessarily punch a coach, but if it ever did get to that point, and maybe if Doc Rivers stayed there a year too long, we'd be looking at a totally different situation here. I don't know, but Joel Embiid needs to be straight jacketed, as they like to say, and we need to figure him out as a league. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this guy stinks.
Yeah.
Least favorite player in the NBA by a long shot now. He's dirty, and then is now punching reporters, is now bowing up on refs for no reason. It's just, he's not a fun player to watch, one. Like, he's incredibly talented and whatever, but the flopping has just got to stop. And then, I don't know, he's just a baby back bitch at this point. Like, I'm tired of his shit. It's over. Like, I have no desire to watch Joel Embiid play basketball. I don't want to read stories about Joel Embiid. I don't want to read tweets about Joel Embiid. I'm just over it at this point. And it was the Gershon Yabusele revenge game on Christmas Day against the Celtics. He had 12 points off the bench, and no one else could do anything for the Celtics. Peyton Pritchard was 0 for 9 at threes, and I'm tired of talking about Embiid. Tyrese Maxey had a hell of a game, 33 points. I missed Jared McCain. That's what I took from that game.
Salute legend. Salute legend Jared McCain. I will remember you, Jared McCain. Shout out Tyrese Maxey though, great play, dude. Tyrese Maxey, cool vibe guy. Like, he just plays the game fun. He almost reminds me of like kind of an iso ball Harden era type player. Yeah. Like, he just plays the game fun. I don't hate the way, like, he doesn't necessarily like look for fouls. He drives enough to where he does get foul calls, but it's not like exuberant in his game. He plays the game the right way, damn it, and I love to see it. Okay, I'll tell you something.
Paul George is also on the Sixers. I keep forgetting.
No, we're not talking about this guy.
I know. I just was saying he's on the roster. It's interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, Peyton Pritchard was 0 for 9 for 3. I think he was like 1 for 10 for the game. And that's the only reason they lost, because no one on the bench for the Celtics could score, and they lost by 4 points. So,
game on the line. Sam Hauser, I trust you.
Shout out to Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain, my two favorite Sixers. Best Sixers of all time, if you ask me.
Sure.
Shout out AI and Charles Barkley, and Dr. J.
Julius Erving. There you go.
Yeah. Next game, Lakers Warriors. Man, I'm getting tired here. Lakers Warriors started off with a bang. LeBron coming out of the tunnel, acting like him and Steph Curry are best friends, and it looks like LeBron loves Steph Curry a lot more than Steph Curry loves LeBron.
No.
Can you tell me?
No.
I think they both enjoy each other's company. It looks like LeBron thinks Steph Curry's his best friend, and Steph Curry's like, he's my friend. It's my buddy.
The brotherhood is not mutual.
No, it doesn't look that way. But LeBron pops out of the tunnel. He tries to block one of Curry's high balls from the free throw line, and the big smile, jumping around pregame, like LeBron just being LeBron. Love LeBron. I just love him dearly. And then a little dap up hug. It just was good feels. And felt like one of the last few times that we might get a really good game out of these two teams and these two players playing against each other, because maybe LeBron's just going to be a Warrior or Steph's going to be a Laker. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen before they retire. Like, LeBron and Steph are going to play together at some point. And LeBron's going to be in Golden State, because Steph's never going to leave Golden State.
I don't.
You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen.
What?
Great game, though. 115 to 113. Our boy, the best golfer in the NBA, Austin Reeves, with the game winner. Headband Reeves, people are saying.
Game on the line, Austin Reeves. I trust you.
Anthony Davis rolled his ankle by just walking. Just made of glass. It's unfortunate. I wish Anthony Davis could just stay healthy for one time.
Man, he's such a good player too. That's
he literally was just walking, and rolled his ankle. 7 minutes.
That's like when big dudes used to walk the halls in school. I was one of them. But like occasionally, hey, you take that wrong step, the ankle goes boom. Just you're like, oh, how'd that happen?
Yeah. I don't know, but Steph had 38, LeBron had 31. Like, it was just an all-time Steph LeBron battle. Great. I think they had the most numbers rating-wise on Christmas Day. It was like 7 million or so, 8 million.
By a long shot.
Yeah, they were the biggest game by far. Obviously, when you have Steph and LeBron playing against each other, you're going to get a bigger draw, and that could be the NBA problem. Like, people don't have guys anymore, and those are the two guys that are really left, and KD's the other one. And yeah, if you just don't have a guy, you're just not going to watch, I guess. And those are the two guys right now, and that's the NBA's like problem and also success is if you got two guys, but they don't play against each other often enough, and they're also just on two teams that aren't necessarily great anymore, and they're not going to meet in the finals anymore. It's all that. So,
and you have these teams playing 4 times a year with each other, but I can guarantee you at least one of those games is on League Pass. I think all those games should be on ESPN, TNT, whatever the case may be.
TNT, not an NBA TV game at all.
Yes, heavy agree on the not NBA TV. But my friend and I were talking about this last night, and I don't want to sound like I'm coping for Jeff Bezos or Amazon here, but let me pose a question. Do you think that the Amazon coverage of the NBA will harm or help the league? Do you think that any technology or any like younger people in the booth, what do you think that'll do for the league?
So Des and I have talked about this off air. Des and I think that Thursday Night Football is the best presentation of NFL football.
Yes.
Pre-game, post-game, during game interviews, the coverage of it, the score bug, like all of it is better than everything else. Like regardless of how bad Al Michaels is. Like if you just got him out of the booth, it would be top tier. Like you could put the new Eagle kid, Noah Eagle or Ian Eagle, whichever one it is. You throw him in there with Kirk Herbstreit, and that's just a stellar booth. And then you've got the great pregame, even though there's too many people on the pregame. There's 6 people or so. We can whittle it down to 4. That'd be fine. But still, the best pregame, best postgame, best score bug. I think it's the best coverage. They do really well with kind of everything. And like when Herbstreit highlights the blitzer, the potential blitzer, like that's the guy you need to look out for right before the play even starts. Like I think that's really cool, and it helps people watch the game in a different way than they normally do. I think it will help like viewers, and I think it'll be an enjoyable viewer experience. But the problem is I don't know how accessible it is. Like I don't know how many people like a lot of people have Amazon Prime, but I don't know how many people just are like, yeah, I just have Amazon Prime because I order things. Or do you watch Amazon Prime TV? Like, do you have it for other reasons? Like, how many people are going to sign up for Amazon Prime because NBA is on it? That's the question I have. Well, I think they're going to do a really good job.
Yeah.
How many people are going to sign up?
Just wait. I think that, and then hot take here, I don't know what you want to call it, but I think that NBA League Pass and Amazon will mesh at some point soon. And you should be able to get a package like an Amazon, and which, God, I hate even like sounding like this, but like this sounds like this could happen. You know, I think League Pass is what, $200 a year for like normal consumers
like
or whatever.
$4 a month. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you divvy that out to, you know, Prime times 2 essentially, where you can get Prime as well as League Pass at a discounted rate, I think that would draw people in a little more because people already have Prime. I don't know, I don't have the numbers in front of me. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably like 25 million Americans maybe. So there's definitely something that can be done there with bringing more NBA fans in at a cheaper rate. But I don't see you know, people using the sites I don't see that changing anytime soon unless there's like a really cheap or a free option like a Fubo style like Prime broadcast or something, like everything free, you know what I mean?
Yeah, accessibility is just our biggest issue with the NBA right now because you have to have NBA League Pass, you have to have Mavs TV for me to watch the Mavericks in Dallas. Like I can't watch them regardless if I don't have, or unless I'm going to illegally stream it, essentially legally, illegally. And then you also have to have a cable subscription to watch on TNT, ESPN, ABC, etc. So accessibility is the biggest thing. And if we could just shove all of NBA onto one platform, like everything just goes to Amazon. Bam, bada bing, bada boom, all done. Don't have to worry about it. Because like NFL, they got CBS and Fox, and then the Super Bowl's on ABC or whatever. Like you just have to have cable for that. That's it. That's kind of all you have to have if you just want to watch 1 to 4 games a week. If you want to watch the whole thing, then you got to have YouTube TV, which will give you all of those things, and then Sunday Ticket. So that's It's all in one place. It's all on YouTube TV. If you just have YouTube TV, you can watch all football games if you get Sunday Ticket. Like
Yeah.
if we just had Amazon Prime and there's like every NBA game is going to go on here. We're going to have different booths for different games. So we're going to do this whole TNT, ESPN, like TNT technically has Tuesday, Thursday. So we're going to have Tuesday, Thursday night crew. And then we're going to have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday night crew. And then just everything else is NBA League Pass. And it's all on Amazon Prime. Ready, go. Do it that way.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm telling you, every week we come on here, we fix the league, and we go about our separate ways. It cannot be any better than that. I'm just so fortunate and so happy that I get joy out of watching Hornets Wizards, Jordan Poole game winners. I get joy out of watching real basketball sicko shit when other people are complaining, oh, the league has too many fouls, too many threes. Like, bitch, watch the fuck. Like, there's so much stoppage in football, so much stoppage in baseball, so much stoppage, and even in hockey, not as much in hockey. But I'm really confused as to why people, like, if is it an attention span thing? Do people not like the presentation? Because that can be a big thing too. Because every single game in the NFL, that even if it's a negative 2 yard rush, I'm watching the same replay of the same bullshit play that I just watched. I get that they just kind of stand around for 30 or 40 seconds and it really does kind of suck. But something's got to give there too. I don't get why people are giving the NFL slack when in reality, when there's bad NFL games, there's bad NFL games, and there's like I said, 10 to 15 minutes of real life action. When with basketball, you can pinpoint almost 30 real life minutes of real deal action too out of a 48 real life. I'm saying 30 out of 48 minutes of like real life action. Like you're getting maybe, people walking the dog, even when you walk the dog, like that shit's funny. Like there's so many small intricacies if you actually enjoy basketball, and you should appreciate that. I know you and I do. It's unfortunate that people are starting to not do it as much. Again, we can't pinpoint, but maybe Mikal Bridges will save the league. Maybe Victor Wembanyama will save the league. Maybe 2 more years of LeBron will save the league. I don't know what it is. Maybe Jeff Bezos will save the league. I can't even finish that sentence. Wow.
Yeah, hockey does it the best. Hockey does it the best because there's just no way of there's no fouling with the last 2 minutes and you're down 4 or whatever. You're just not. There's not a way to do that. You can pull the goalie, then there's a goal, and then they get right back to center ice. They don't even take a commercial right after it. They just show the replay, and all of a sudden you're back at center ice taking the next face off because there's 58 seconds left. They're gonna play the 58 seconds left. There's an icing. All right, there's a 5-second break because they're getting to the other side of the ice. Another face off, and there's just gameplay the whole time. NBA is the next closest because you have the fouling, and I think after the under 3 minute timeout, like the TV timeout for under 3 minutes, I think there should just no more commercials. After that under 3 minute timeout, there's no more commercials. Even if there's a replay, if there's a timeout, you're just sitting there and you're letting the announcers carry the game, and then whatever's happening, like all the fouling and all the stoppages and all that kind of stuff, you just get to watch it all play out. Yeah. I think that would help a lot because when you go to a commercial, then you come back from commercial and then they foul and you immediately go to the next commercial before the free throws are even shot. It's just like, what? Why? What are we doing here?
The timeouts and the free throws are some of the worst. But honestly, I think somebody on TikTok said it best too, and I really think that this is a viable option. You make all of the okay, let's say Jalen Green gets a shooting foul on him, called on him 3 times, like he gets fouled going into the paint or whatever. Mm-hmm. You shoot all those free throws at the end of the quarter. And you, instead of having the minute-long stoppage, 5-6 times a quarter, you just shoot all the free throws at once. And obviously, the fourth quarter, you play it out like how it should normally be played out.
And you just do the commercials during that part.
Sure.
And then you come back and you just have a highlight, and you're like, yeah, Jalen Green went 7 of 10 from the free throw because he had 10 free throws this quarter.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take 2 more minutes of commercials if it means that I get 5 real minutes back of my life for game action. That shit matters, dude.
Yeah, I like that. Last game on Christmas Day, Denver at Phoenix, 100-110. Phoenix took it home. Jokic, not his most spectacular game, 2 of 7 from 3, 10 of 19 from the field, but 25 and 15, only 2 assists. The rest there was only one other player that really did anything, and it was Michael Porter Jr. Welcome back, 7 and 14. I didn't watch this game. And Russell Westbrook, he's been pretty good, 17 points. I think people doubted what Russell Westbrook was going to do this season, and I was just that's a nice player to have for Denver. He's a high-energy guy off the bench. I just was curious what was going to happen. I think he's been pretty good for them. People don't really like to give Russ any credit. But Phoenix got 2 guys, 27 points, KD and Beal. Booker was out. But, yeah, overall, I didn't watch the game at all. So
No thoughts other than KD's last couple Christmases here. Just try to enjoy it when you can. I watched a little bit of this game and saw KD. Just like we were talking about. He starts so low, it almost feels like you're watching him like touch the ball on the floor before he gets up for his shot. It's so cool. Like I've always tried to replicate that. Like when I'm just shooting at a park or in a gym or whatever. Like and it's so hard to do it because you're essentially doing a 360 with the ball before you get it out of your hands. Like nobody shoots like that. I was watching Shake Milton get a 4-point play last night. I just want to preface this. Was watching Shake Milton get a 4-point play last night. Stone, you were just out of it. And he, of course, he's number 7 for the Nets over there. He almost had the fluid KD motion down, and I was like, holy shit! If I was like drunk, KD's back on the Nets, dude. Holy fuck! Like it was so funny. Oh my god,
welcome
it was
back,
so
KD.
funny. Welcome back, KD. Shake Milton, 4-point play, and shout out the Nets, man. They killed it last night with no Giannis against the Bucks. Chris Middleton. Nobody wants to talk about these things, but again, real league pass demon. Chris Middleton did a Denzel Valentine-esque 3-pointer down 4 points with like a minute to go. And in the middle of as he was shooting, I'm just like, what the fuck? Why? And as soon as he was shooting, and I immediately got the, oh no, Valentine, no! What kind of shot is that? He comes down, of course. I think they get a stop, and then they come back down. I think they're still down 4, maybe 6. So the game was still in reach. There was about 30 seconds left. Chris Middleton just dribbles to the lane, drops it off of his leg, out of bounds. Could not have gone any better. Essentially two turnovers in about 30 seconds. So I think the Bucks need Giannis back.
Chris Paul.
Welcome back, Chris Paul. Bucks need Giannis back. But man, shades of KD and Shake Milton last night. Woo! Got me excited.
I do think older version of KD is now my favorite player to watch.
Yes.
Just because of how difficult his shots are and just how easy he makes it look. Like he's getting the best defenders on him. And they're all defending him, hand in the face, hand on the ball, like all of the things. And all of a sudden, he's just like, all right, 15-foot mid-range. I got it. No worries. Oh,
and in your face.
3 now? Oh, okay, cool. You want me to get in the post and then hit a layup move on you? Oh, you want me to do the dirt fadeaway? I got you. He'll just do anything and everything on offense, and it's impeccable to watch. So I would just cherish it as long as we can because it's about to be 2025, and KD showed up a long time ago. So it's not going to last forever. Hope it does, but it won't. So enjoy KD while it lasts because he's one of the I'd argue that he's the best offensive player I've ever watched.
Yep. He is him and Carmelo and James Harden are my 3 favorite scorers that I've ever watched. Obviously LeBron being the best individual player, like all-around player that I've ever seen in my lifetime, and I don't think that's up for debate for anyone. No. He's the best player since well before 2000. But man, it's watching KD and getting that KD hatred out, especially when he went to Brooklyn and kind of past Golden State. I'm like, okay, I can actually appreciate this guy again because seeing him just absolutely torch the Cavs in that series and just be an absolute menace in the regular season. It was tough to watch because you're like, this guy took the pussy way out, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? But now that we're so far out of it, we can actually appreciate how good of a real player. Like he's such a fun player to watch. And again, like it's always good that people have their guys, Steph, LeBron, KD, whatever. Of course, I think it would have to take an army for me to root for the Phoenix Suns. But on an individual basis, KD is just so fun. And like you said, all we can do is cherish it and appreciate.
He looks really good in a Suns jersey too.
He does. Heavy agree.
Looks right.
Yep.
Just looks good. Unfortunately. But yeah, that was Christmas Day wrap up. 5 games, 5 great games. All of them 10 points or less at the end of it. So another good Christmas Day in the books. The NBA and Christmas, they belong together. The NFL, not so much. We kind of proved that. 2 stinkers on the NFL, and too many people watched it. But welcome back, NBA, Christmas Day. You own it. Can we just start the season on Christmas Day and just call it a day? That's it.
Yep.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Another good episode. We'll be back next week. We'll get back to regularly scheduled programming kind of after the new year and be talking basketball. Trade deadline's coming. Jimmy Butler, we didn't even mention him today. Pat Riley, holding him hostage. Not a big deal. But this has been Zero Gravity. Apollo Media's NBA podcast brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go check them out today if you're in the Houston area. Shout out to Prize Pigs. our daily fantasy app of choice. Prize Picks, use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. And shout out to J Bar M Barbecue, our newest sponsor, our barbecue sponsor at Apollo Media now for the basketball side. We love J Bar M Barbecue. It's really close to Toyota Center. Great drinks. They're cheap and just delightful food. It's the best barbecue I've had this year. It's incredible. Love J Bar M Barbecue, so check them out if you're in the Houston area, over by Toyota Center, heading over to a Rockets game. Shout out to our sponsors, and shout out to our listeners and viewers, and shout out to you, Josh. We'll be back with another Zero Gravity, Follow Media's NBA podcast very, very soon.